welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast. I am your host, Zach Randles-Friedman. Today's story is about a flag, but not just any flag. It's a flag that was taken down from one of the most sacred LGBTQ plus landmarks in the world, and then put back up because a community refused to let history be erased. We're talking about the pride flag at the Stonewall National Monument in New York City. Removed following federal guidance and then raised again in a powerful act of community solidarity. This is about symbolism. This is about history. This is about why the pride flag still matters, especially right now. So let's just jump right in. The pride flag has been flying at the Stonewall National Monument in Greenwich Village, the first national monument dedicated to LGBTQ rights history. But earlier this year, the flag was quietly removed after updated guidance from the U.S. Department of Interior restricted the display of non-governmental flags within national park sites. And yes, technically, the flag is considered a non-governmental flag, but let's pause there for a second. This isn't just a decorative banner. This flag was flying at the birthplace of the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement. The removal felt symbolic and not in a good way. For many in the community, it feels like erasure. Do you know what Stonewall actually means? To understand this, we need to go back to January 28th, 1969. The Stonewall Inn was a bar at the time where being openly gay could cost you your job, your family, your freedom, or even your life. Police raids were common, harassment was routine, but on that night in 1969, something different changed. The community fought back. What began as another police raid turned into days of protest, confrontation, and resistance. Drag queens, trans women, queer youth, people who had nothing left to lose. Figures like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera became icons of that uprising. The Stonewall uprising wasn't polished. It wasn't planned. But it was anger, it was exhaustion, it was defiance. And it sparked the first pride marches the following year. So when we talk about Stonewall, we're not talking about nostalgia. We're talking about the birthplace of visible resistance. So what the pride flag means, the pride flag itself was created in 1978 by artist Gilbert Baker. Each color has a meaning. Red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for harmony, and purple for spirit. It was designed to represent diversity, resilience, and unity. The pride flag is not a political party symbol. It's not a campaign banner. And it is a declaration that LGBTQ plus people exist. And when that flag flies at Stonewall, it connects past resistance to present visibility. It tells young queer kids, you belong in this story. Before I continue, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Shopify. When I started my podcast a few years ago, I was so nervous that no one would be listening. I put a lot of effort into delivering a quality podcast, and I did not want to fail. Now that my podcast has become more successful, and I realize I'm not just talking to myself, I'm ready for the next step, to start selling merch for my shows. I need a platform that has easy-to-use tools and a user-friendly platform. And I found that is Shopify. As I ramp up my merch, I need to get the word out. Shopify has a great marketing team that can help me get my social media campaigns out to where my customers are at. If I run into an issue and not sure how to move forward, I know I can count on Shopify to share their advice with me 24/7 with their award-winning customer service. Plus, I know customers are more likely to purchase from my merch store when they see the trusted Shop Pay button. They know it will be an easy checkout process and less people are abandoning their carts. I'm starting off with a smaller shop and planning on growing it over time. The great thing with Shopify is that as I grow, they're there to help me get to the next level. I never have to worry about not reaching my milestones with Shopify supporting me. It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/listenup. Go to shopify.com/listenup. That's shopify.com/listenup. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. And let's continue with our story. Community response and the flag goes back up. When the news spread that the pride flag had been removed, local officials, advocacy groups, and everyday New Yorkers mobilized. Community members gathered in Christopher Park, LGBTQ plus advocates spoke out, and New York City leaders coordinated to ensure the flag would be restored in accordance with guidelines. And then, in a moment that felt deeply emotional, the flag was raised again. Cheers erupted, people cried, because sometimes visibility itself is to protest. The message was clear. You can take it down, but we will put it right back up. So why does keeping the flag up matters? We are living in a moment when LGBTQ plus rights are being debated in state houses, school boards, and courtrooms across the country. Trans youth protections, drag bans, curriculum restrictions, visibility is under pressure, and symbols matter. As for older generations, the pride flag represents survival. For younger generations, it represents possibility. When that flag flies at Stonewall, it anchors history in the present. It says, this happened, we fought, we're still here. Removing it, even bureaucratically, can feel like minimizing that legacy. Raising it again affirms the story still continues. So in the bigger picture, this moment isn't just about New York. It's about how we treat LGBTQ plus history in public spaces. Stonewall is federally recognized because what happened there changed the trajectory of civil rights in America. The uprising to pride marches across the country. It energized organizing. It made visibility impossible. And the pride flag flying there is a living reminder that resistance created rights. It also reminds us that rights can be challenged. History is not static. It requires maintenance. Sometimes that maintenance looks like physically putting a flag back up. If I'm being honest, as someone who creates LGBTQ plus content and talks to people in their community every week, moments like this hit differently because they remind me that the freedoms we sometimes take for granted were born from confrontation, from people who were told to stay quiet and didn't. The flag flying at Stonewall isn't decoration, it's inheritance. So yes, this story was about a flag. It was about the memory, about visibility, about a country that understands its own history and well enough to protect it. The pride flag is back up at Stonewall National Monument, and maybe the lesson here is simple. You cannot quietly erase a movement that was born in defiance. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Listen up, girl. I'm Zach Randles-Friedman. Please be sure to subscribe. And if this story resonates with somebody you know, be sure to share it. Stay loud, stay informed, and stay proud.